Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Reopening for Revival, where we're exploring a very quickly evolving landscape in communication. I'm Joanne Pitkin. I'm a director on Argyle's Corporate and Public Affairs team. And today I'm joined by Rahim Ladha, who is the Vice President of Corporate Communications at BentallGreenOak. Welcome, Rahim.
Oh, thank you for having me, Joanne.
Suffice to say that it's been a big year for lots of corporations and certainly a big year for BGO, both with a merger as well as a pandemic that we've all been getting through. Can you tell me a little bit about how you've been managing that as a communicator, both internally and externally, and potentially some lessons that you've learned along the way?
Of course, for communicators like me, these are the moments we live for. They're always very exciting when you're anytime you're a part of a merger. And but then of course there's a whole range of challenges. The pandemic struck and we were less than a year old as a firm. We'd only just merged Bentall Kennedy and GreenOak Real Estate to become BentallGreenOak, and so there was an incredible emphasis in the early days of our merger around the subject of culture and how we were going to bring these two really potent firms together to create a real powerhouse in our industry. There was really an important effort on all of our parts to create empowerment within the firm. That really translated into how we responded to COVID-19 when so many of our stakeholder groups, our tenants, our clients, our investors, our employees, the communities that we're surrounded by, that we're active in, all of them suddenly were impacted by COVID. And we knew it was going to be a firm-wide effort to really respond to the needs of these stakeholder groups. So empowering the various business units to really take charge of their area of influence to help affect change was a really sort of intentional effort on our part, and very much became a part of our culture. What you saw was just this magnificent empowerment of different business units coming together to really tackle this pandemic challenge that we've all been confronting. And that in itself has become a part of our culture.
Well, while you were managing such a huge cultural integration, we certainly have encountered and forced a number of conversations, particularly in the media, around some big societal issues. And BGO is such a diverse workforce with offices across 12 different countries. How did you manage this, and what are some lessons that you can share with those that are tuning in?
If our company-wide response to COVID-19 really brought us closer together as one BGO, then certainly the brutal murder of George Floyd and the countless names that came before and after his death was going to equally force a response as one firm, really unified in how we wanted to address this subject. What it did give rise to, which was really interesting as a communicator, is the desire to create these employee alliance groups that were built around some of the diverse communities that we had within BGO. So we started the creation of a Black Professionals Alliance, an Asian network, a Women's Leadership Council, a BGO Pride Alliance group. And what it allowed us to do, both as a communicator and as part of our leadership response to this, is tap into the sentiments of these distinct communities within our firm, to really understand their pain points, and to frankly get a lot of understanding of what are some of the things that we can do as an organization to really help drive progress. We started off by looking at our philanthropy program and saying, what can we do to redirect resources to organizations that are truly on the front lines of dealing with social issues in our communities, and to really empower them with resources at the time they need it the most. The second thing that we looked at is we want to express ourselves publicly on anti-Black racism in unequivocal terms. And so we tapped into the energy from our employee alliance groups to really reflect the ethos of our firm in our statement. The third thing was really looking at our own composition as a firm and understanding, have we created the right conditions for people of diverse backgrounds to succeed and thrive at BGO? And are we bringing in that pool of talent at various levels in the organization to really set us up for success and having that diverse perspective that we know creates advantages for us as a firm in serving our clients? Our CEO really balanced out the need for longer term thinking around creating the right conditions for growth with immediate action to say, we need to start to change the composition of BGO, and here's how we're going to go about doing it.
Those are very insightful and important lessons, both from a communications perspective, but also from a leadership perspective. So, thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for your time, Rahim. It's been such a pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.